I'll hide behind my laptop as I'm writing a report for Walton Furs weekend away, but I'm not really. It's Monday morning, the day after the end of the weekend, obviously. State of the office. But I just want to say a big shout out to all those that went on the Walton Furs weekend away. Well done, you completed it. I think you survived. Hopefully all of you have made it to school this morning, and boy was it hard getting up this morning, I gotta admit. My word, what a great fun time it was, and what a pleasure it was to be with you guys, to work with Julie and Awana. Absolutely awesome. Shout out to the Methodists in Fleet. Woo! You guys are awesome. And to my guys, well done. Really good weekend. We, just to get it out before the 4th of March, we're having a pizza kind of time, which is going to be really cool. I would have the details here. That would have been good, but I can't seem to find them. I will find them. I will rustle through my paperwork and find an invitation. Yes, there we go. That looks backwards to me. So if I go like that and then hold it back. No. Oh well, doesn't matter. Pizza and games, Sunday, 4th of March, 4 till 6 p.m. Upper room at Church on Heath. So all of you that don't know the upper room, some of you went into there and were like, oh wow, that's really cool. Well, yeah, that's the upper room. We could have pizza and games. We can have a tiny bit of worship. Going to be really lovely, and we want more and more feedback from you guys. Brilliant feedback you gave on Sunday, but after a couple of weeks, you know, you can think about what was really good and what could be better. You know, let's not say what was rubbish, but what could be better. And I just wanted to say to you guys that it was a privilege sharing that time with you. And it was just really, really special. I know that word is so misused in today's culture, but it was really special, and it felt, especially that evening in the chapel, was just really cool. They've got this open air chapel that hasn't, well, it's not a chapel, it's like a load of, you walk through this kind of like church entrance, and then it's like an open space with an altar right at the front, and then it's a bit like Aslan, you know, where Aslan gets sacrificed on that altar type thing. It's a bit like that, but without the paganism. Christian, so it's all good. Really, really special. Glow sticks, worship, and preach from Julie about knowing Jesus personally. Absolutely brilliant, loved it. All of it was awesome, but I gotta admit, my favourite bit, the bit that made me feel most like a child again, was the caving. And I don't know, you can't really see. Yeah, it looks pretty pathetic in the camera view. If I get a proper close up, yeah, I got some like nice bruising and that on the arm, realising that rolling your sleeves up whilst dragging yourself along a man-made cave that's made out of concrete is not necessarily the best move. But guys, you were brilliant, and the big thing for me was we gave out these books. Choose Life. And I was going to read to you today's extract, if that's cool. So these are like daily devotions. Choose Life by a guy called Simon Gillibone, who's a really awesome missionary in Burundi, and he's just, yeah, he loves Jesus, and he's 100% kind of sold out for him. As I know there's a lot of people that are, and but he's just particularly radical, which is good fun, and yeah, in the good sense of the word radical, you know what I mean, for what is love and what is good and what is right, and what Jesus preached and how Jesus lived, that kind of radical. So here we go. So we are on February the 19th, and I thought, you know, something I really enjoyed was the early morning inspirations. Admittedly, they were too early, 7:30. Apart from a Hugh, who made it to both, and Jacob, well done, 2 thumbs up, made it to the second one. We have taken on board that we will put back the time. And here we go. So it starts like this, really simple, stuff like that. It starts with a Bible verse. It's kind of the premise for the whole passage, and it's got a thing there. So I'll read it to you. Here you go. Certainty or ambiguity. Big word. Ambiguity means not knowing, kind of like you're a bit unsure, ambiguous situation, what's right, what's wrong, we don't know. And there's certainty and there's ambiguity. Yeah. So here we go. The passage is from Job, which is spelled Job, okay? But we don't call it Job. I don't know why we don't call it Job, because it would sound really cool. Job 1925. Which is in the Old Testament, and Job is actually is the oldest book in the Bible, in the sense of the Bible's not in chronological order. It's put in it's a special order. I can't remember what it is, but it's to do with size and importance and how the Jewish people organised their books. So you've got the first 5 books, which is the Pentateuch, or the what's the Hebrew? I can't remember. Pentateuch or Torah, that's it, which is the first 5 books of Moses. So here we go. Job 1925. I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand upon the earth. And that is the Bible verse. I know that my Redeemer lives, and in the end he will stand upon the earth. It's an amazing verse, actually. It goes on, I think it's 1918, it talks about, I will see him in my flesh, in this very flesh. And it's the only reference in the Old Testament to bodily resurrection, which is like so cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, here we go. Job was a righteous man. This is what Simon Gillibone's writing here. Job was a righteous man, but found all his blessings wrenched away from him. His health, his wealth, and his children. Amidst conflicting accusations from his so-called friends, he knew how to wrestle with ambiguity, while clinging to the certainty of God's sovereignty, all-powerfulness, and rule, sovereign, to rule, king, queen. God is King of Kings, sovereignty. I know that my Redeemer lives, and after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. How my heart yearns within me. And that's from Job 19:25 to 27. So it wasn't 1918, it's 1927. Which is really cool. This is what it says. U2's Bono once said, belief and confusion are not mutually exclusive. I believe that belief gives you a direction in the confusion, but you don't see the full picture. That's the point. That's what faith is. You can't see it. It comes back to instinct. Faith is just up the street. Faith and instinct, you can't just rely on them. You have to beat them up. You have to pummel them to make sure they can withstand it, to make sure they can be trusted. Has your faith been pummeled like Job's? If you've followed Christ for any length of time, your earlier certainties will no doubt have been, at the very least, seriously shaken and challenged. Our self-assured dogmas are easily maintained until death, sickness, or some other imposter rocks our tidy conclusions. Maybe as we move towards spiritual maturity, we come to the same conclusion as Job, that it's less about possessions, order and success, and more about ability to live with uncertainty, loss and mess. Professor Matt Cartmill quipped, As an adolescent, I aspired to lasting fame. I craved factual certainty, and I thirsted for a meaningful vision of human life. So I became a scientist. This is like becoming an archbishop so you can meet girls. I like that. Lord, it says a prayer at the end here. Lord, grant me the certainty of Job as I live out life's ambiguities in my faith journey today. Amen. Now that was quite deep, yeah? But for all of you that are just like, what the heck? Because Yenna just talked about it in this, okay? It's really cool. And sometimes with stuff, yeah, if you don't get it first time, that's okay. That's good. It's called learning, yeah? And it's good to learn, right? So rather than looking at it like, I don't get it, oh, I just ignore it. Oh, I didn't get it first time, da-da-da. So much in our society now, if you don't get it straight away or within 3 seconds, it's like, oh, that's not good. That's not good advertising. That's good, that's not good kind of like communication or messaging. And I'm just like, well, hang on a minute. If we're following Jesus, we said we're disciples of Jesus. That word disciples means learners. That means we learn. So that means even if you think you're really dense or whatever your self-opinion is of yourself, don't worry. We're all learning together. Yeah. So with this, yeah, the big thing that jumped out to me, that whatever your circumstances you're in, yeah, they can add to the confusion of life. Yeah. And trust me, yeah, the last 3 years of my life have been really crazy with lots of things happening, lots of deaths in my family and stuff, and really, really, really kind of like confusing and like, whoa, But all the way through it, it's like God's just been there, and I can't explain, but there's been like this peace. And don't get me wrong, yeah, emotionally you can feel drained, you can feel like absolutely at your last breath, you feel like you're like, oh my word, how can I carry on? And then you get up, and then you take that a step again, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you just don't give up. And for me, the big thing here, or when you do feel like you want to give up, you give up, and you give up to God. You literally give up to Him. You just go, oh God, I can't do this. I can't carry on. And then God just meets you, gives you this grace, this love, yeah? Sometimes you don't feel it, yeah? Sometimes it's not a feeling. Sometimes you do, and that's really good. And sometimes it's about obedience, and sometimes you keep going, and you keep going. But God does show up, and I have felt Him show up in my life. I have seen Him in the people that I talk to, the people that I meet. And the certainty, there are things that you can be certain on, which is really cool. For example, that Jesus rose from the dead. I can be certain on that. I bet my life on that. And I don't say that flippantly. I say it with the fact that, historically speaking, and so that you can't get away from the evidence that Jesus rose from the dead, which is so cool, and that Jesus was the Son of God. I'm willing to, I'll put my life on the line for that, because I know why would I do my job if I didn't believe it with a lot of certainty that I'll be willing to bet my life on it. Yes, totally, I do. Otherwise I wouldn't be a youth minister. I wouldn't be, ministering to young people 11 to 18, yeah? So this, certainty or ambiguity. I think you can be certain of things, but it is good to question those things you are certain on, yeah? If anyone tells you, oh no, don't ask questions, that's not good, okay? Question everything I say. Question everything anyone you say. Don't just trust them blindly. Question it. Why? Because you've got a brain. God gave you a brain. Use it. Use it, guys. Yeah? We got Google now. Woo-hoo-hoo. So we can get every crazy view from around the world. Filter it. How do you filter it? Well, check out what the Bible says, man. Check out what God says in there. Yeah, what version to use? Preferably one in English. That would be good. And just start reading the Word, guys. Start reading the Word. Why? It's the truth, and the truth will set you free. I really like these. I find them really helpful. The bits you don't understand, guys, there's no excuse. I know half of you guys were like inseparable from your phones. They are like mobile dictionaries and thesauruses, okay? You can Google the word, okay? Certainty, ambiguity. Ambiguity. There we go, I've got there. You can Google them, okay? And it's fine. And if there's stuff in here that you're like, I'm not sure about, don't just gloss over it. Research it. Look into it. If you're not sure how to research, come and ask. Watch on YouTube. There are millions of videos. Okay, you can find out how to do this. Don't be passive, guys. Don't be apathetic. Let's be passionate, and let's be people that genuinely are seeking God in our everyday lives. God bless you guys. Hope you're enjoying this book. I'm really loving it. For this week, or I might do for Lent, I'll try and do one of these, like going through it every day. I'll try and do that. I've said it now, and so I am bound. Let your yes be yes and your no's be no's. Anyway, God bless you. I hope you really enjoyed the weekend away. For all of you that are just watching this video, my name is Jenna Jenarowski. I am a youth minister at Church on the Heath. If you have any messages or anything that you would like to comment on, please don't hesitate to. And I will all talk to you soon. To all my guys, I'll see you Thursday at Rooted. It's going to be awesome. We're continuing with Alpha. I think we're on session 8 or so. It's going to be awesome. Free pizza, Alpha, Tudor Fat, lots of games. It's going to be great. God bless you guys. Peace out. Bye.